In today's episode, I have the pleasure of welcoming Sanjay Kumar, the creator behind SelectorHub, TestCase Studio, and several other fantastic tools. Now, Sanjay's commitment goes beyond just developing groundbreaking products. He's also passionate about supporting the testing community with his practical and effective solutions. So, he'll be joining us today to discuss his latest creations and give us a hands on demo of each tool. So, it's going to be an incredibly informative session, so be sure to stick around until the end. So, welcome, Sanjay. It's such a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Dilpreet, for having me here.
Yeah. So, as the creator of like Selector Hub and several other fantastic tools, you have made some real impact in the industry. And your creative tools have grabbed community's attention and have made things so much smoother for testers. So, I'm really happy and excited to hear about your latest creation. And I know our listeners can't wait for the live demos to see the power of your tools.
Thanks. Yeah, definitely. Like latest tool, we have now auto test data and testing daily,
Mhm.
which is like community is like getting very excited by using those products, and they're definitely helping them a lot. These both these innovative tools, like with their unique idea and creative things in that. So yes, definitely looking forward. Like we'll see it today, and
Okay.
yeah, people will definitely enjoy.
Perfect. So once again, yeah, thanks again for joining. So let's jump into this fun and informative conversation. So we'll start off with a little bit of your background in software testing and how you got started in software testing to begin with.
Yeah, sure. So actually, I started with as usual, like others, SDET, and then worked for a couple of years in industry for around
Right.
5 6 years. I worked, and then from there on, I started developing these tools. And main challenge I found in like in industry that people used to say that don't use an XPath tool, because XPath tool generally whenever there are any XPath or selectors tool, it is
Right.
being considered as in like you will lose your skills to write XPath and selectors, because generally whenever there is a XPath tool, it is just considered as you will be copying the XPath.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's where I thought like we should have something which will help us to learn about XPath and selectors, and
Right.
that's how I got an idea of these of this Selectors Hub, which is today in fact helping everybody to learn about XPath and selectors, how to write, how to learn about DOM, what all what all functionalities are there, what all functions are there in XPath, error handling, selectors error handling was never discussed. So that is helping shadow DOM, iframe, everything is supported. So that's where I got an idea of a smart editor of selectors for selectors and XPath. So that's how I started with the selectors Hub, and then when we like everybody adopted it like anything in the today, like we have 500,000 downloads and more than 200K active users for selectors of just in such a short span of time. Like just it's been like 2.5 years now,
Right.
and along the time and with the feedback and problems of our testers and testing community, I
Right.
used to keep getting ideas and then working on them, and that's how I developed a lot of tools. Today we have, and all of course, like all are the free community products. Like first was the Selectors Hub, then we launched TestCase Studio, which is like a huge success and very helpful today. One of the
Yeah.
highest rated recorder plugin, TestCase Studio in Chrome Store.
That's
Then we
amazing.
launched thanks TestCase Hub, which is a kind of like test case repository, test scenario repository we launched. That is also helping a lot community. Then we launched testing daily.
Right.
Then we have the auto test data now. So testing daily and auto test data are the very latest tool apart from other three. So today we have like almost five tools in different platforms, and they
Nice.
all are unique ideas and helping community in their own ways and saving a lot of time.
Wow, that's truly inspiring. I mean, I look at you and I'm like, well, this is where I want to get to. Like these are some of the amazing products you have built. It's truly inspiring, not just for me, but I would say like pretty much any testers that are out there in the testing community. I'm pretty sure they look up to you. So tell me, like, how do you get to like create these so many products? Like usually when someone would start, they would think of this new ideas and new products that they want to create, but they would run into some challenges, some issues, and they would probably stop that journey and they wouldn't really pursue that. So based compared to that, like some of the challenges that people face, how did you decide to like, okay, no, I want to build this? I know you talked about some of those challenges, but how is it about really executing it and making sure really putting it out there in front of people? So what inspired you to do all of that?
Yes, like one of the major thing is the which inspire me is always the community feedback and their reviews. So
Right.
if you read the reviews about any of our products, you will find them like really amazing. So that is like kind of inspiration and the boost which give you the kick and push, you can say.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And of course, like it has been like in back in the mind always that let's create something new, try to solve some problems. So I don't think much about like that way, that oh, whether this idea will work or not, whether this product will uh, work or not.
Right.
Once I get an idea and I feel like okay, this is a problem and this is the solution and it is going to help it, even if it is going to save time for 10 people, then I just build the product and execute it. And over the time, like of course, like none of the product or any of the product doesn't go that
Viable.
good or
Yeah.
that well in first shot. It
True.
takes time, so it evolves over the time with the feedback of the community. So in
That's right.
fact, like if you check out like releases or the launch event of every product, you will find like oh, this was so simple at the
Yeah.
earliest at very early stage. Like if we talk about testing daily, first we launched it as a like a browser plugin, and it was so simple. Nothing
Yeah.
was there. Like we just having three platform, we pick the feed from three platform like Medium, YouTube, and initially Lambda test. We
Yeah.
integrated, and then community gave so many feedback and people just loved the idea, and then got so crazy that we had to launch the web application, then the mobile app on Android and iPhone. And just in like within it's not even just 3 months for the mobile app, and we have today more than 10,000 plus testers are using actively, and from 250 plus sources we are showing the feed on testing daily every day. So
Wow.
that like just amazing. So it's just a feedback when you develop the free community product. So it's a boost is like because it's a free, these are the free products, so you're not
Yeah.
thinking
Nothing
or
for it.
working from the monetization perspective and all. So when you develop the free product, community feedback is the boost, people's reviews, and then when people get good reviews, so that kind of a feeling, of course, like it's altogether different. So yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's
And one
that's
of
amazing.
like passion, you can
Yeah.
say that is always there to build these products.
Yeah, and
If
we
I
can
don't,
see that passion. Definitely, it shows up in your products, and every time you are talking about your products, so it shows how much passionate you are with not just with building products as well as helping out the community as well. So that's pretty amazing. So just it's a perfect segue for our next question. You mentioned testing daily app, so just give us a little bit overview of what testing daily app is and how people can use that.
yeah, sure. So like testing daily is basically is a very simple app which used to okay, before that, like let me tell you the background.
Right.
Suppose if we ask someone, how do you keep updated yourself with the latest testing techs, like what is happening in testing today?
Yeah, I can answer that for you right now. So I would go 10 different places, look for all right, who's doing what, just go to Medium, go to different blog, the website, and it's always so hard. So
Yeah.
that was my challenge.
Yes. In fact, like it is pretty much impossible because
Yeah.
you might have subscribed, let's say 10 testing channels,
Yeah.
10 YouTube testing channel. You might have followed 10 influencer on like different platforms, let's say Medium or on Twitter.
Yeah.
You cannot reach, or you might be checking some of the testing website or blogs. That's all you can do. But you
Right.
cannot check them each and every second or each and every minute to all
Right.
of them. You will like maybe like in a week you will check Medium, in a month you might check Reddit, in some years you might check some testing website, right?
Yeah.
But everybody is creating so much content, these tools are getting created like for people still, like so many people are not aware about Selectors Hub, TestCase Studio, and these products.
Yeah.
But once they get to know, they say like, oh my god, these are lifesaver product. Imagine like Selectors Hub is today under top 20 Chrome developers tools at Chrome store. And
Wow.
imagine like there are lakhs or millions of products are there in Chrome store, but
Yeah.
Selectors Hub is at 18th position, but still many people are not aware. So how can we get all these updates? So
Right.
that's where I like did a lot of surveys over LinkedIn and other platform, met so many people, and I understood that there is a challenge that are people not getting latest update, and they have a lot of challenges because
Yeah.
nobody can go and check everywhere. So
That's
that's
true.
where I got an idea of testing daily, and we have this today. So first idea was like, let's have it as a Chrome extension,
Yeah.
because at the same time I wanted like I don't want to people use the product. I don't want people to make even a single click to get the updates. So you get updates automatically without doing anything extra. Whatever you are doing, keep doing that, but we will show you some feed. So that's
Nice.
where I got the idea of testing daily.
Right.
If you allow me, let me share the screen and then I will show you.
Let's do that.
Okay, so like let me just open Selectors Hub here. So you see that here, you you guys have already seen this Edge browser. So whenever you open Edge browser, you see that you always get this kind of feed here.
Yeah.
If you open new tab, you will see that you're seeing this feed. But
Right.
tell me, as a tester, is it at all useful for me? Is it adding any skill in my resume, in my like any information on my like related to testing? It is not at all useful.
Yeah.
But what if like I show you something every time you open new tab like this, what you are opening in Edge browser, it will add some skills or some knowledge related to testing, and it will tell you that, oh, this is what is happening in testing. Will that not be very, very useful?
Oh,
Like
100% it will be.
you open in here on Chrome, like new browser, new tab, sorry, and you will see that it is showing you some of the things here, like
Yeah.
test new conference is happening, how to automate, create photo album and all. Cypress test isolation as a best practice, a blog from Cypress, what is happening on Twitter, blog from Selenium official website like Selenium 4.8.0 released.
Nice.
How many like let me ask you this question: have you ever read a blog at Selenium website?
No, usually it's just the announcement that's coming out that I would probably read that. I wouldn't go to the
Exactly.
website.
Exactly. Imagine now you have never opened that, but today
Yeah.
you like now you and you see that everybody use Selenium.
Yeah.
So everybody should know that what's happening there on their blog, what they are writing, what they are creating for the community.
True.
Cypress blog, you might have never opened that. So you will get all these updates here.
Yeah.
What people are every time you open new tab, you get this update. And if you want to open website, like you open a website. Like suppose I'm going to open I want to open Amazon. I will go and open Amazon. But within that few seconds, it will serve you feed, some feed. And every time you open new tab, it will show you different feed.
Wow. So
That's
this is pretty amazing. I only knew about the app. I didn't know that you can actually do this in the Chrome extension as well. Or so
yes.
how can someone go ahead and install this? Is it like an extension that they have?
Yes, so you just have to go to Selectors Hub website, and here you will get all the product links, what we will talk about today, all
Okay.
the install links and everything. So you see
Perfect.
here, testing daily, this is, click on here,
Right.
and it will open the testing daily homepage here. So here you will get little definition about it, what it is, and
Nice.
in what all format it is available. So that was the first thing browser plugin we launched.
Okay.
But then we thought like when let's say you are in traffic
Yeah.
or early morning, when you get up early morning, what do you do? So first first thing we open Instagram,
Guilty.
Twitter,
Yeah.
LinkedIn, and that's where we waste a lot of time when you go to toilet. So
Yeah.
our saying was like we will change the way you spend time on toilet.
Yeah.
So there we keep scrolling the Instagram and all, but that is just a waste of time. So
That's
we
true.
thought like let's have this mobile app,
Yeah.
and you scroll the feed which is absolutely relevant to you, for your career, for your knowledge. And every time you open testing daily mobile app, it will add some value in your career, in your knowledge, in your package.
Yep. 100%.
So that's where we have the mobile app and web app as well. So now you have today this Android phone and iPhone, both in both the store it is available, and at both the store it is the 5-star rated tool. You can see that
Yeah.
app, and more than 4,000 on app like Play Store and App Store. Both it is available. You can just search on Play Store or App Store for testing daily, and you can get that. And we also have the website. So suppose sometimes you just want to open the website and you don't have the plugin. So in
Right.
that case, you can just bookmark this website, and whenever you have time you want to read, you can just quickly open a testingdaily.info, and that's where you start scrolling the feed and you will get it. You have
Perfect.
two views.
Okay, nice. So now nobody can say that they don't know what's going on in the testing community. They know the place to
Absolutely.
come. So either you want to do it on your phone, you want to do it on your website. It's available everywhere. That's perfect.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. All right,
And
that's amazing.
Yeah, let me just quickly maybe will show some of the amazing features of this. So one
Yeah.
is that like you just come and start scrolling, you will get everything here. Another thing, like let's say you want to search for
Right.
someone's feed here. So that also with the author name or YouTube channel name, you can search it here. So that can be done here. And like you see at certain point of time, let's say you are at traffic somewhere,
Right.
okay, and you open this maybe app or website or anywhere you open it, and you found that okay, this article is good, maybe like once I will be free, I will read this article or this article at that point of time, because
Right.
right now you don't have time. So in that case you can bookmark this, and
Okay.
whenever you get time you just come here and open this bookmark thing, and you can read your like bookmark article, because
Nice.
you will not be having time always.
Yeah. And is this can be done like on both website as well as mobile app too?
Yes, whatever feature I will be showing, they will be across.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, maybe like I will show you on mobile as well.
Okay.
So meanwhile I will show you here. You see that here you can under customize, you can see that which all platforms we are showing the feed. So right
Right.
now if you see that we are showing the feed from like Medium, YouTube, uh, Reddit, Lambda Test. So all from all these platforms we are showing the feed here. These many like official Selenium, Cypress, TestRigger, Prover, XLQ, TestResults.io. Under WordPress, we have added many websites, many testing blogs from Blogspot. So basically, in these, there are like around 50 websites. Under
Mm.
this, there are more than 120 YouTube channels from where we
Wow.
are showing the feed. Medium, more than around 130 Medium authors are there from where we are showing the feed right now. So every time you open basically the uh, testing daily app or this extension or the website, you will see the new feed.
Nice. And they have the option to like filter it. For example, I don't want to look at a Reddit post or something, right? So I can toggle that off and can only see a
Absolutely,
particular thing.
absolutely. Let's say you don't want to see this Reddit one, you can keep it off. You don't
Nice.
want to see any of like whichever feed you don't want to see, you can just turn it off. Let's say you don't want to see the YouTube, you just click off, and now it will not show you the YouTube feed here.
All right. That's pretty good. So it's fully customizable. So if someone, let's say, I know you already have so much content over here with from many different YouTubers and blogs and so on. If someone wants to go ahead and add their new blog or website over here, so what's the process for that?
Sure. So for that, like what you do here, under suggestion, you can go and add. But basically, like let me just directly show you. Let's say somebody feeds is not there. So what they can do, here you see that want to get your feed on this page, testing daily page.
Right.
So here you just go here, and you will get the steps. So what basically generally it used to pick from every platform, but what if like it is not there, it is
Yeah.
not picking. So we have mentioned very simple step here, like you just write a blog maybe about testing daily on your website, and then after writing that, you just have to share the your website link. Basically that will be the RSS feed and logo of your company with transparent background, and just send the mail to at this email ID, and we will like integrate your feed.
Okay. That's good.
Similarly, like if you have a YouTube channel and you want your feed here at testing daily and it is not picking up for some reason, then what you do, create a small tutorial about testing daily and then publish it on your YouTube channel, and
Yeah.
just let us know that this is your YouTube channel link and you have published it with your LinkedIn profile or Twitter profile, so that we know who you are, and then we will add this. Just send this. And
Okay.
here of course like the feed which we will show here on testing daily, that should be the software testing related stuff.
Okay. So is there like a filtration process that you go through every time someone reaches out to you to make sure we are showing the content related to testing?
Yes, absolutely, like it shouldn't be like anything maybe clothing brand or something.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So that's how they can, anyone that's basically listening, if you want to add in your blogs or videos, pretty much just go to this page. And I'm going to add the links for all of this in the description as well as comments. So it's easier for people to definitely reference them whenever they need.
Definitely.
Yeah.
let me maybe just show the quickly the mobile app as well here.
Okay,
So this is what we have. Let's say this is the your mobile, and here you see that. Let me just play around. And what you do, just if you have to install it on mobile phone, so if you are on Play Store or App Store, here you search for the Testing Daily, and you can see that it is here. So I have already installed on my phone, so we'll go here and open this, and this is here.
nice.
So this is in dark theme. You can of course change the theme from here, like whichever you want, system, light, or what. So right now I have kept it on dark because this looks really amazing.
Yeah,
And here
that's
you
that's
just
the thing I
start.
use as well. The moment I found out about dark thing, I'm like, yep, I'm going with this.
Yeah, so this is amazing, and you just keep scrolling and you will keep learning from here. You can
Yeah,
open any of the, like, let's say you want to watch this, you can watch it here itself in app, like Testing Daily app itself. You can watch the video. And another advantage of watching the video here, that you don't see the ads as well. And then like you can see, you can comment if you like the video, you can upload the video, and you can bookmark. Everything is there,
nice. Okay,
all the
so pretty much
features.
same features we see on website. All of that is available here.
Absolutely.
So at the very beginning, they gotta like sign in and register with their account, right? And after that, the
uh,
session store.
so sign in, account creation is not at all required. If you just
Oh,
want
okay,
to use the app, you just open the app even without signing. You will
right.
be able to use everything. Just that, like, let's say if you want to upvote or you want to comment something, so
Yeah,
that's where it will require you for sign in, because under whose name that will go. So
of course.
comment or upvote, that should be always linked to a particular account. So that's where it is required. Otherwise, to see the feed, to read the feed, to watch the feed, sign in is not required.
Perfect. All right. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
So that's the Testing Daily on the mobile phone.
Great. Is there anything else you want to cover with testing daily, or we good to switch on to the next new product that you launched?
Uh, yeah, so that's actually pretty much. I will just request people that explore all these features. Like you can see that which all the are the popular, most upvoted, best discussion. You can bookmark, customize. You can watch the tutorial, because there are many other features which we might not be able to cover in this short
Yeah,
session. And then if you have any suggestion, you can always raise a ticket here. We take care of like your suggestion very carefully and immediately. We have added so many features here which are the feedback from the like all the users.
yeah,
I will request and will request that please invite people, let others know about this Testing Daily. So you can just click on this and share the app link with your QA groups. And of course, like, we will always request that please add a review, because that is a boost or kind of like motivation for us to create such free products for our community.
definitely. So if anyone's listening, definitely go ahead, install the app. And yeah, that's pretty amazing. I think the amount of features it has, and it's the perfect place to get all of your testing information. And one thing I would request for the listeners as well, like if you're reading a blog post over here, or you like particular content, just go ahead and add comments as well. Just contribute so that you say, oh, upvote it, add comments, say why you particularly like the blog post or a thread. This way, you're going to keep more engaged with the testing app as well, and other people can see which posts are getting more popular, and they can contribute on that as well.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's move on to our next product, that which is the test data, and which something that I believe you launched after the testing daily app, right? It has been
Yes,
quite
yes.
recent. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the kind of the motivation behind launching this test data tool?
Yes. So I was like looking for this. One day, like when I launched this Testing Daily, so we were doing some testing for this. That like we wanted to create a lot of email ID, and we wanted to see like if we will log in with these many users, what will happen. So basically, we required some of the data
Yeah.
and lots of email ID just to test the like sign up, because we were expecting that so many people will be using this Testing Daily app, and everybody will be signing in,
Right.
because in earlier app like Selectors Hub or Test Case Studio, we never had that login thing.
Yeah.
So that's where we were looking for data. And then like I asked like my friend Mukesh, that Mukesh, what you use to create like this sorts of data, like how
Yeah.
do you create? And of course, like so many people, I did some poll on LinkedIn as well. Everybody was like, we use the Faker library, we
Yeah.
write the code and all. That's where I also did the same thing. And I thought, like, what if, like, let's say I have created a project, what if like some libraries got updated, what if don't have that code set up right now, what if like some syntax got changed at particular date of time.
Yeah.
So it is, I found it really challenging this thing. What if, like, let's say I'm at a manager role now, right now, after
Yeah.
some years of experience like you are. So we don't remember the syntax and code always, right?
That's true.
So where I will go and search and write the code and then generate the data. So I thought, like, why don't we have something, a user interface, which will be like absolutely customizable as per my requirement, or in just like one click or two click I will be able to generate this fake test data.
Yeah.
Because libraries are already available. So what I did, like, just use those libraries to and prepared a user interface where you just come, click, and generate the data. That was the simple idea, and here we have this auto test data right now. So if you
So,
go
I mean,
from here.
yeah, before we jump onto that, I just want to comment on what you mentioned around the libraries getting outdated. So, you mentioned Faker.js, and not sure if you know Faker.js. Originally, there was a different NPM library that was famous with Faker.js, the original Faker.js library. And they had some issues with the original creator that created that library. And after that, they had to move the entire content to a new library, set everything up from scratch. So for quite a bit of time, people weren't able to use the Faker.js library. So using something like this is perfectly amazing, not just for people who cannot code, even for some of the folks who wants to code, who wants to get the data. They can simply just come over here because it will always be available. You can get whatever data you need, and you don't have to depend on any external dependencies. So that's pretty
Absolutely,
amazing. Yeah,
absolutely,
nice. All right, so
absolutely.
let's get into the demo to see how this looks like.
Yes, so you can just directly go to this autotestdata.com. Just two liner here we have written that what it is and how you can use it. And of course, again, this is absolutely free. You can also watch the detailed tutorial here anytime.
Yeah.
And let us directly jump into this. So this is how it looks like, autotest data. So you would be able to generate the data just in three simple steps. So here you see by default it shows the names, phone, email, currency, and number range.
Yeah.
So suppose you want to generate this data, and you can choose the format in whichever format you want. And here you can set the number of rows, like 10, 100, whatever you want. Let's say 100 we want. Click on generate, and it has generated the data.
Wow. Just like that.
Just like that, you can simply click on download or copy whatever you want. You can do that. Copy this, paste it wherever you want, in whichever format. Let's say you want in CSV format, click on generate, and it generated the data in CSV format.
That's so easy. It makes the data generation piece super easy. You can simply go in there, put whatever you want, and get the data you need. Amazing.
Absolutely.
Nice. And
Now,
it's customizable, right? Like if I want only, let's say, name and phone, I can simply remove another rows and
let's
just
say,
get that.
yeah, you don't want these, you can just simply remove them. You want
That's,
to this is the new feature which we added recently, that you want to, let's say you want email on top, first field as a email, you can drag and
yeah.
drop. So,
Nice.
and let's say you want to add more fields, like you want to add, let's say, postal zip code, that you can add here. Here you can choose, like, this is also another user feedback which we recently implemented. People said, like, what if I want to generate the postal code with respect to a country, for a particular country. So that also we have added for few countries, so that you can choose here. You want to generate date in any particular format, that you can do. This is another community feedback. After launch we added all these features last week, so we
Okay.
take care of the community feedback very carefully, very seriously. So yeah. And
Wow.
then here you can set, let's say you want first name. Okay.
Right.
And then let's say you want the last name as well, so in that case you can add it here, first name, and this you can make it as last name. So these are basically header in the sense, like, let's say you are generating JSON, so click on generate. So basically like email, and then first name, last name, phone, postal, and all those things.
Okay. So they can just customize whatever property name
Customize,
they
yeah.
want, and based
Let's
on
say,
that, will show up in
yes,
your data.
Exactly. Like let's say in place of email, you want to say something else, like official email or personal email that you want, that you can change here.
Perfect. Yeah,
Whatever
and
is
this is really
relevant.
good for someone, let's say, doing test automation, right? They have a specific type of properties that they're looking for, that they want to map it or they want to add it into their respective, let's say, API and stuff. So based on that, they can come in here, put in their property name, get exactly that data that you need, and just copy that and put it in your test file. So that's pretty good.
Absolutely. Like let's say you want to generate a particular domain name. Like I'm
Yeah.
working at SelectorsHub.com. So you want all the email, because by default it will generate with something else, like at the rate yahoo.com it is generating. Okay.
Right.
And then some random, like sometimes Yahoo, sometimes at the rate Gmail. But I want all the emails with SelectorsHub.com. So here you see that I icon, hover on this, it will let you know what you just mentioned the domain name. So let's say this is I want with SelectorsHub.com.
Right.
And now if I will let's say I just remove all these fields which I don't need for a second. Quickly we want to see, and here you see that it is generating all the emails with at the rate SelectorsHub.com.
Ah, nice. So there's anyone working in their, let's say, company domain, they can just use that there and get all that information specifically.
Absolutely.
That's
And
pretty good.
here all the fields, like everything is customizable. Let's say you want for this is for US, you want for India, that you can do +91. If you are in, like let's say you are in Canada, you want with that particular country code, that you can choose here. So everything is, a lot of things can be done. Format you can do, number of rows you can select. If you, whatever data is generated here, you want to refresh that, you can click on refresh and then again it will generate. So everything is possible.
Wow, that's extremely helpful. How, so maybe tell like the folks who are someone like that are new in test automation, like why would something like this tool would be helpful when they are doing their, let's say, the parameterized testing or data driven testing. So someone that's not as familiar, just probably give us like a couple of advice on why would they want to use something like this.
Yes, because the most of the time, whenever you will be writing the automation script, let's say, because we just said, you just said like for automation,
Yeah.
so you write one test case, but you provide a lot of input data with respect to like so many users. Because if you have written a login functionality, so you want to test your login functionality uh, with respect to thousands of users, thousands of email. So in that case, you can just simply come here, generate the data, generate in Excel format or whatever format you are using in your framework. Like recently, we added this separated by pipe, which is being used in Cucumber.
Right.
So here they can generate the like separated by pipe, and you can simply copy this or download this as a feature file and use it in your framework. And you would be able to run your automation script with respect to 1,000 or 100 or whatever number of users, and then you can say that your login functionality is working
Yeah.
with every domain name. Because if you haven't passed this selectorsHub.com, here it will generate with random, so you will be sure that okay, whether there will be at the rate gmail.com, at the rate yahoo.com, or whatever it is, it will work. So that
Yeah.
way you will be easily able to verify your one test case, one automation test case with respect to thousands of user data.
Yep. Yeah, that's extremely helpful. So you can do your data-driven testing. It will help you to find edge case issues. Sometimes with certain domain, it doesn't work. So for those, you can easily catch that. One thing I want to ask here, and I don't know if that's supported for certain characters, let's say French characters and so on. Are those at the moment possible to generate like names specific with French characters or specific languages?
Wow, that's a good feedback actually. Currently, it's not supported, but
Yeah.
definitely I will take it as a feedback and I will add that. So
Yeah,
maybe like
because
in future we will add this like names here, and then under options. Right now it is no option here, so we'll have their option as a like language. So that will generate in particular language. That's a good thing, good
yeah.
suggestion.
Yeah, because I mean, Canada is a bilingual country, so you have English as well as French supported. And one of the common bugs we get is actually related to French characters. So it would be great to have that as well, because I can generate all the emails with English and French, and that would give me the data, and I can use that in my data driven testing.
Definitely, definitely.
Perfect.
So I will also like request you and everybody who will be watching this, that please, if you get any feedback, please, here in the footer you will find suggestion. You
Yeah.
click here, add the ticket here, and we work like very seriously on these tickets. And every feedback, you see that 11 tickets already closed and feature is
Oh,
released. So if you get any feedback, any suggestion, just add a ticket and we will fix that. And we will implement this pipe separated by pipe, this refresh button, these more formats like this country specific zip code, date, everything, like all many features are there, those coming from you all, like community feedback. So you just let us know that what you need, what is not there, and we will implement that, and that's how it will evolve.
That's amazing. So this website, definitely I'm going to go ahead and bookmark it. I'm going to add it in the description as well for everyone to go ahead and bookmark it. And something I'm going to definitely use anytime I'll be doing data driven, or I need some extra data for my manual testing as well. This is the website to come to moving forward. Perfect. Thank you so much for creating this. I really appreciate it. And you've been putting so much effort into building these products that are helping the testing community a lot. So thank you so much for that.
Sure, sure. Thank you. And also, like here in the footer, because we will be keep adding more and more feature. So today, what you are seeing here, maybe like tomorrow there will be more feature and more functionality, better UI or something. So you always refer the tutorials here. So
Right.
yeah, so that way, like you will not face any challenge that like in this video there is new, like that button is not there. There might be in future more functionality will be there. So you can always refer the tutorials from here.
100%. Okay. Sounds good. All right, so this was a demo of Auto Test Data. Once again, another amazing tool that got added in your list. Now let's move on to the next one, which is again the one that I really like, the TestCase Studio. Let's talk about that, how it started and where it's going. What are some of the plans with how it works at the moment?
Oh yes. So TestCase Studio is one of the like my favorite tool out there. This was the second tool which we launched after Selectors Hub.
Yeah,
So and it was like huge success, and community like call it lifesaver tool. It is very helpful, and one of the highest rated, I would say, the recorder plugin out there in Chrome Store. So
wow,
this is actually like very simple recorder plugin which is useful to record your manual actions what you perform on website into plain english sentences, and along with that it used to take the screenshots as well automatically, which is
right,
very helpful to reproduce the bug or for filing the bug or to get the steps as a manual test case as well. And then a lot more features are there here in test case studio.
nice.
You see that like let me show you how you can get started with this. So here this is available as browser plugin for pretty much all the browsers. So suppose you want to use it for Chrome, click
Yeah,
on this, it will take you to the Chrome store, and from there you can add it in your browser, install it, and you see that it is verified, featured, and this is the very first, or you can say the only plugin which is 5-star rated, all 5-star. There is no single less than 5-star there in
that's
Chrome store.
amazing. Yeah, so people love this. They've been using this and providing great feedback. Uh,
Absolutely.
wow,
And this is absolutely safe and secure, that you don't worry that what if like you will use it in your company, it will allow, company will allow or not, is it
right.
safe, because this is a recorder plugin which you use to record your steps. So
Yeah,
this is absolutely safe and secure. We don't save any of your user data, and in fact if you see here in overview, it runs offline in your system,
uh,
so we don't have any server for this.
nice. Perfect. So how can someone, let's say, once they install this, and
Yeah.
what are the steps for them to start using this tool?
Yes, it's very simple. Let me just show you. So here you will get this plugin logo here on top.
Yeah,
Of course, like in Chrome nowadays, you have to pin it to toolbar, because by default test case studio logo will not here. So pin it. Now let's say you are starting your testing. Okay, so what you have to do, you just click on this logo. That's all you have to do. Just click on this, and this is how this window open, test case studio window. And now you start your normal things. What you do, let's say you want to search something here, testing daily. You scroll down, you open this page, you click on this practice page, let's say, and here suppose you are clicking on this first enter name, but this field is disabled, you see that.
right.
So it's a bug, right? Because if a field is disabled, then that means that's input field should not be disabled.
Of
So
course.
you
Yeah,
want to raise a bug here,
right.
but do you remember all the steps which we just followed?
No,
Right. So what you do here, again click on this, and you see that everything is recorded here in plain english sentences. So here you see that you can simply copy these steps, paste it to your developer, that these are the steps to reproduce the issue.
wow, that's so
Follow
easy.
them.
Yeah, I would manually go ahead and do all of this, and such a painful process. So,
Correct. And then you have a screenshot for each and every step. You see that, enter last name, and the field is also highlighted here, and
Wow.
the step name same. Otherwise, what you do, you take the screenshot like this, then you highlight the field that here is the issue. You do this way. I'm sure like everybody does this way.
Yeah.
Then you paste this screenshot to your developer, tell him that okay, this is the issue there, and this is how these are the steps. Though this was a simple test case, but
Yeah.
otherwise you have to like, in general, when you work in reality in big companies, enterprise companies, that's where it takes a lot of effort
Yeah.
to reproduce the bug, because sometimes there could be a corner case. To reproduce that bug, it's difficult to recall all the steps what you have followed. So
Right.
that's where this test case studio is very very helpful. You get all the screenshot automatically, you get all the steps, you also get the XPath and CSS selectors
Oh,
recorded
nice.
here.
You can use that for automation as well.
Absolutely, that's where you can use them. And in fact, the pseudo code also you get, like set driver, click on this, and you see
Wow.
that now here you are getting driver.find element, XPath is appended on them. So many amazing things are there.
That's so good. Yeah, this
You can
is, and then you
change
have the
the
option,
command.
yeah, to customize this as well, right? Like if I don't need step 1 to 3 and only need those, I can just remove them.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can do that, a lot of things. So for this, like again, I will request that please watch the detailed tutorial about it. The tutorial you can find it on Selectors Hub YouTube channel always.
Right.
So yeah, and here you see that you get all the information as well, this one. So if you download this test case, let's say, so you see that you got the OS, like on which OS, this is on Windows or Mac, what version is there, what Chrome browser version you are using, what was the screen resolution, what was the time when you filed this bug, when you
Yeah.
got this bug, everything is there. So you don't have to waste any time, because otherwise like you have to waste a lot of time just to figure it out, okay, what was the because your developer will always ask that what was the version number,
Yeah.
right? What was the browser version, what was the OS
Exactly.
version, whether you were using Windows or Mac, what was the, whether it is a Chrome browser or Firefox browser. So you get all the information here.
Yeah.
So
So
very
one
helpful.
question here. How would this work if I'm running using a cloud service like BrowserStack, or like Sauce Labs and stuff? Is it gonna be able to recognize the browser and all that over there as well?
Yes, definitely, like you can install there and then you can use it there as well.
Nice. Wow. So that's just gonna make it so easy. Like creating the bug report with this, it's gonna be much easy to do compared to manually typing it all out.
Yes, in fact, like you will be surprised, you might have never heard this, that you have heard this, that automate the manual test case, right?
Yeah.
But have you ever heard this, that generate the manual test case from automation?
No.
So many people are using TestCase Studio for that purpose as well. In fact, like I will create a tutorial soon. Actually, like Naveen find out this amazing scenario.
Right.
Naveen Automation Labs I'm talking about. So he found out this very good scenario that you write your Selenium script, you are running that code,
Yeah.
and when you're running that code, from there you can start the test case studio, and test case studio will generate the manual test case from your Selenium automation script which is running in the background, and then you can save it. So that's
Oh, that's
amazing, great
amazing.
scenario. So many people are doing for that perspective as well, from that perspective.
Yeah. So let's say oftentimes when you create automation, you get rid of your regression test cases, but sometimes you still need those test cases. So simply run your automation, get that recorded, and then you all of you right away you have those test cases recorded for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a perfect use case there, and I'm pretty sure like I have done that many times. I was like, oh, I need to manually create all of this, so just doing it through automation would be so easy.
Right.
Nice.
So like there are like many other features. You can just copy steps, you can copy data, you can copy like XPath, CSS selector. You can, if you forget like any step, you miss any step, you can add this step, you can delete this step, anything. You can execute these steps. Just click on this, and it will execute your test case on test trigger, which is another great codeless automation tool, AI based. So that also you guys can explore. If you
Right.
want to execute this test case, just click on this button, it will execute there. And then lot more customization, you can pause, you can change the, like customize the UI. Let's say you don't need this expected result column or XPath or CSS selector column, that you can hide. So many features are there.
Amazing. Yeah, this looks really promising, and something I would say I should start using more. I don't think I've explored it enough, so I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna look into this more and explore all the features.
definitely I
And
will
even for
request
the
you.
listeners, yeah, definitely go ahead, give this a shot. And if you have any feedback, then go ahead to the Selectors Hub website and provide your feedback as well on how we can improve this further.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So that was kind of a quick summary of some of your tools. So tell us a little bit about like what's your future plan in terms of improving these products and just helping out the software testing industry in general.
Yes, so roadmap is huge. Like if I don't invent something or innovate something or create
Yeah.
something new for some time, I feel like, oh my god, I feel like very much painful until unless I don't create something new. So roadmap is huge, of course. Testing daily and all these products like Selectors Hub, testing daily. In fact, like let me read it from here: Selectors Hub, TestCase Studio, then TestCase Hub, testing daily, and auto test data. So we have a
There's
huge,
so many
huge
tools
roadmap.
that you have to now start reading it from the list.
Yes. Of course, like so many things are in the pipeline, and like in fact, like so too much feedback is there from the community itself, so we are going to implement them. And definitely, like in future we will come up with more and more solution, whatever your. So basically at Selectors of what is our uh, motive, and the motivation is that the end goal is that we want to solve each and every small day-to-day problem of our testers. So
Right.
we are trying to create a productivity booster tools at Selectors Hub, and of course free tools.
Nice.
Like we didn't talk about actually TestCase Hub. So this is another great product which will help you guys to get the test cases for any particular scenario or functionality. It's a kind of like test case repository where you
Okay.
just like for an example, you need the test cases for login functionality, the one which is actually written or created by industry experts. So you come here, search for login, and you will get the test cases. This is the kind of like Stack Overflow for testers.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So here you come, you will get that who has written the test cases, who has reviewed the test case. Like let's say you want the test cases for database.
Right.
You will get to know, okay, this person has written the test cases, this person has reviewed the test cases, upvotes and everything is there. You can like filters and lot more things you can do it here.
So are these test cases added by the community and
Yes.
okay, they are.
So you can see that who are the people who are contributing here, who are the people who are reviewing the test case. You can always check which all scenarios, available scenarios, test cases. You can see it here. Who are the contributors? You can see it here. These many people has written the test cases here. These
Nice.
many people have reviewed the test cases. So everything is there. So this is a kind of like complete open project where this is absolutely like community driven product.
Yeah, so this is really helpful for someone really starting out their testing journey and they don't know what are the best practices to write test cases and how they can get started. This is the
Absolutely.
place to come to really reference all of those.
Absolutely. Like suppose, let's say you never have done the payment gateway testing,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you got this to test that. So
Mm.
for that, how to get the test cases? Of course, you can Google it and you can find it there. But the problem is like so many things are there, and you cannot rely that who is the person who has written those test cases. But
Exactly.
here you come, you just let's say you have here KYC these many test cases. You can click on this profile and you will get to know, okay, who has reviewed these test cases. This is the person who has reviewed the test cases, and this person is working leap scholar, so she is working in payment gateway domain. So you
Right.
know that, okay, if this person has reviewed these test cases, that means they are good.
Yeah.
So this is from that perspective, it is very, very helpful.
Yeah, 100%. No, this is really nice. That's something, yeah, like everyone would definitely would should come into and learn more about how to build different test cases, specifically with different domain, because oftentimes you're working with one or two companies with specific domain, and you don't really have expertise in particular domain, right? So this is a perfect place to look into it. So if someone wants to add in more test case here, how can they contribute over here?
Yeah, so they can just simply like add test cases from here. Like of course you will have to log in, create
Right.
account, or you can, let's say you need for any particular functionality, or like let's say we were talking about this KYC test cases. So here
Yeah.
you found some test cases, you feel that okay, some test cases are missing. You can just log in here and add test cases. You would be able to do them, add them.
Perfect.
We have also created tutorials, so you can just follow them, like how you can add the test cases and all. that you can just watch it here.
Nice. All right. Thank you so much. I think this is going to be pretty helpful for testers as well.
Yes.
Great. So before we wrap this up, just kind of what tips or best practices would you want to share with the testing community in order for them to, let's say, get better in their testing as well as automation skills?
uh yes, so I always recommend like for best practices, because testing is like more on kind of like learning, exploring the like product what they are testing, as well as at the same time like exploring the tools and technology which they are going to use to test that particular product. So
Yeah.
always see that what, because don't follow the old practices, or I would say like old school things, that okay, whatever you have learned you can go with that, because every day so many new things are coming, so many new tools are coming which can using which you can do the smart testing with
Right.
better productivity, with better quality delivery. So always keep exploring these products, new technology
Yeah.
for your testing, that how you can improve and do the better testing. So that's my take always, that I always look for like what is better there, so that I can improve my productivity, I can learn something new, I can explore, and I can do the better, like, because if generally like whatever I have learned in my as a fresher, or whatever have been taught to me, of course like every day something new is coming which can help me better to do things better. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and
keep
it's
exploring.
overwhelming. There's so much content out there. It's sometimes overwhelming. All right, what should I focus on? What should I do? So maybe let's just, let me ask you this. So how can tester maximize the benefit of using your tools and resources? Because obviously now you have so many products.
Yes.
So what are the best steps for them to, if they're getting started in their testing journey? That hey, these are the roadmap that you can follow specifically using your products.
Yes, so is like when you want to use my product or any product, it's very first thing, it is always recommended that before jumping or exploring any particular product,
Yeah.
always watch a tutorial about that product. Because if you like you will, if you think that you will explore that particular product or something by your own, that might take a lot of time and you might not be able to make the best use of it. Sometime even I heard from the people that they will ask a very I mean generic and something unusual question, like this product cannot be used for this purpose. So sometimes
Yeah.
people just forget that what is the purpose of this product. So
Right.
just spend 5 minutes of time to watch the tutorial of that product from that company or from the creator. Then you would be able to use the make the best use of that product, and by that way you can save a lot of time, and you will understand actually whether you need that particular product or not. So
Yeah.
like I have showed you guys 4 5 products here. So in that case, like, you just watch quick tutorial about that and then use that in your company and figure it out whether it is actually useful or for your company or not.
Yeah, 100%. That's something I say that I often to my students as well. Like whenever you're getting started, make sure to read the documentation, truly understand what the library is trying to do, or specifically if there are videos, watch the tutorial before jumping directly onto that particular tool that you're trying to use, right? Because if you
Yep,
don't know how something works, then there's no way you're going to be able to optimize it and use it to its max capacity, right?
correct.
Yeah, for sure. So Sanjay, I really appreciate your time today. So just
Thank
tell us
you.
how can listeners can connect with you and stay updated on your work.
Yes, so on the Selectors Hub website, you can find out like contact us. Also, like they can follow me on LinkedIn. Just search for Sanjay Kumar, or on Twitter as well, Sanjay Kumar. Maybe like if you don't get from Selectors Hub, you can just but if you didn't get from Sanjay Kumar, search for
Right.
Selectors Hub Creator and you will get it there. So you can follow me there and contact us always on the Selectors Hub website. Live chat is there. You can join the Selectors Hub Slack channel if you want to discuss something or you face any challenges. Right, like we also have a Telegram group and lot many things. Everything you will find it on Selectors Hub website.
Awesome. That's great. All right.
And
So yeah,
before
sorry, go ahead.
before we wrap up, maybe like quick 1 30 second, I will show you
Yeah.
Selectors Hub, which is the main product we have.
Yes. I feel like that's something I've used it so often I forgot to even cover it in this one. Let's go ahead. Let's take a
Yes,
look at that
so
tool.
yes, because pretty much everybody knows about that product,
Yeah.
but it's still. So Selectors Hub is basically, guys, uh, selectors and XPath tool which helps you guys to write and create, learn, auto generate the XPath and selectors, and this is the highest rated XPath plugin out there in Chrome store, and in fact in all the stores. So you
Mhm.
just click on here, and anybody who is watching this, I have earlier created CrowPath,
Yeah,
and but then I stopped working on CrowPath around 2 3 years back. So this is my new creation, Selectors Hub. So feel free to use this Selectors Hub tool, which is the highest rated XPath plugin. And
yeah. And look at those reviews. They are just
yeah.
amazing. Basically, yeah,
Yeah, you can always read the review, and you see that it is almost 5 star rated product, featured and everything. And this is actually almost like 200K active users. Once it hit 200K, then it will show here.
yeah. Impressive. That's so
And
impressive.
it is under top 20 right now. It is at 19th position in Chrome developer tools.
Wow.
And how you can use this, so you just open any website, of course, like you will have to add it in your browser, and then you open any website, let's say google.com. Here, open Selectors Hub. In dev tools, you will find it here, and you see that it used to generate like this. And again, I will recommend that you guys please watch the tutorial. It has amazing features. You can inspect any element. You can write XPath here. One of the best feature which I love is this smart editor, which tells you that what is wrong, what is missing in your XPath. If you do anything wrong here, it will help you to fix that. It
Yeah,
is a smart editor like this. You see how quickly you can write your XPath. You select the value here. You don't need to type anything.
definitely.
You
Yeah, that
can,
makes it so easy. And
yeah,
even you can, like, for users, you can even right click on an element and just to
yeah.
copy. Yeah,
Absolutely. You can right click and copy the value from here itself.
yeah.
You can
That's
do a lot of things, like you can generate the locators page automatically, like very quickly, multiple XPath you can generate. You just inspect like this. Then there's a debugger feature which will help you to inspect dynamic drop down values which disappear. You can generate the code, you can verify multiple XPath healing feature is there. Many things are there.
yeah, yeah.
You
Once
can
again,
generate,
it's so many things. So definitely, you have to watch the tutorials for this. It's on,
yeah.
yeah, Sanjay's channel. So go check it out. It's, you're gonna find lots of tutorials, and I think for this one you need it because there's so many things over here. So you need to know how to use this properly.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
And for practitioner, this is also actually, I'm not sure if you are aware about this. Have you ever checked this practice page?
I haven't. No.
This is also being considered as a one of the best innovation. This is a page. If you are able to automate this page, if you can enter value in each and every field on this page, you can consider yourself like one of the great automation test engineer,
Oh, nice.
because these fields are so complicated, though they look very simple,
Yeah,
but actually they are very complicated. Like one field might be inside multiple shadow dom, then multiple iframe, inside shadow dom. So if you try to automate this page, you see that.
yeah.
So you can consider that, okay, you know things very well. This page is currently being used by almost every trainer, every YouTuber, every automation company to demo their product. So this has all the scenarios covered out there.
That's pretty amazing. I mean, I think I should start using this then for my tutorials.
Yes, definitely. Like Naveen, Mukesh, in fact, like Naveen Automation Labs, every tutorial is on this page. Like Mukesh, also everybody use this page basically because it has all the scenarios covered, like SVG, iframe, shadow dom, multiple iframe, multiple shadow dom, and a lot more things.
That's great. And then Selector Hub is, can it, like, I know we didn't talk about that, but can it help with shadow DOMs and iframes being able to
Yes,
recognize those?
yes, absolutely. This helps with iframe, with shadow dom, iframe inside shadow dom,
Wow.
shadow dom inside iframe. Like you see that it tells you that this is inside shadow dom. In fact, Selectors Hub is the very first and the only product which supports shadow dom,
Yeah.
multiple shadow dom. Like it tells you, gives you everything, like complete script to automate that. You see, it tells you that inside two nested shadow dom, what are
Oh,
the vectors for them and everything.
yeah. This is
Even,
something, if for the folks that haven't worked with shadow DOMs, you're going to know how painful it is to be able to just do it all manually. So having a
yeah,
tool like this is really going to make your life easy.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
a lot of stuff is there, and always read carefully that what it is telling you. So this tells a lot of things. If anything cannot be automated through Selenium, that also it before you make a mistake, it tells you that this element is not interactable through Selenium automation. It is not visible in UI. So lots of things it helps you automatically before you waste your time, before you make any mistake. So it will tell you everything.
Wow, this is so good. Yeah, I mean, Selector Hub is again one of my favorite tools in your list, and it's something I use on a daily basis. So this is, I'm pretty sure for the folks that are not using it, and you're in the testing industry, or even if for developers when they are building their, let's say, unit test and so on, and you need to work with elements, this is the tool that you got to use.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So Sanjay, any final words before before we wrap this up?
Uh, that's actually pretty much very well. You have covered everything, and just keep exploring things, keep checking out, because we will keep innovating more and more things. So yeah.
Awesome. All right. So great. Thank you so much again for coming here. And I hope our listeners found this episode informative and useful. And if you want to learn more about Sanjay, I'm going to add all of the links and the details in the description below and the comments below. So go ahead and check that out. Once again, thank you so much for Sanjay coming here.
Thank you so much, Dilpreet, for having me here. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for more awesome content like this. Your feedback and suggestions for future videos are always welcome, so feel free to share them with us. That's it for this video, guys. See you in the next one.